Oh great, mayhem again. But wait. They actually apologised for this intro in the next issue of the magazine, and I quote, "Our sincerest apologies to Apex, who were deeply offended by the intro sequence to last month's Heavenbound demo. We regret any offence caused." Yes, this is Heavenbound, one of the new wave of games coming over from Europe that were going to save the Commodore 64 somehow. That intro is especially cheeky given how much the graphics are heavily inspired by Creatures 2, to say the least. The game itself? The clue is in the name. Go upwards. That's it. Precision platforming, the game. You have a pea shooter that you can upgrade a bit by picking up that, I believe. You can also pick up extra time, which you will need because there is a incredibly annoying time limit when you're trying to do precision jumping and destroy awkwardly positioned enemies with your pea shooter. And that's great. And that's pretty much it. I never really got on with this for reasons that were obvious just there. There goes the time limit. I have forgotten what that power-up does completely. I hope someone will drop a time bonus. And they won't. And I'm dead. The end. Yes, I never got on with this, I'm afraid. Just far too repetitive and simplistic. Oh well. Yes, it's an all-games extravaganza this month. And they're really all over the place. Starting with the all-new stuff from Europe that was going to save the Commodore 64. And then you come onto this. It's Galaxians from 1983 or thereabouts. The enemies aren't even animated to any great degree. Let's at least finish one screen off. Or not, perhaps. Come here, you. Oh, come on. This is going tremendously. Ah, I win by default. Great. Colonel present Chaos, a game what he did to CompuNet, which was a old proto-BBS thing, I think. I'm not hugely up on any of the sort of internet things that happened on the Commodore 64 back then. I was never involved in it personally at all. Anyway, this is a cheap and cheerful, in that it was free anyway, little shooter, and it's going tremendously. The graphics are all ripped from various commercial games, I think, and the music is Rob Hubbard's Crazy Comets theme. I always thought it was a bit odd that they chose that because, well, the fact that you're firing constantly means that one of the channels is completely dead pretty much most of the time, which kind of ruins the theme. But then I checked what Crazy Comets actually does, and it appears to do exactly the same thing. Anyway, kill a wave, move on to the next bit of ripped graphics. A pleasing enough diversion, I guess. Well, we may as well finish with one of the Stone Cold classics. This is Dropzone. It's a spin on Defender, and it's going tremendously well as well here. Always did like those explosions. You have a bunch of men wandering around at the bottom of the screen. The enemies will drop little things off that try and kill them. You can pick them up and drop them in the drop zone to keep them safe. If they all die, the planet goes nuts and tries to kill you. Apart from that, fly around, kill everything. And I really did try for this, but my reactions are just not up to it these days. I did the whole bit, playing it full screen, set up my Xbox joypad to properly use joy-to-key and make sure it was all using the joypad properly. The whole bit had all of the special powers mapped correctly. I'm still terrible at it. Like so. This is actually my best run out of quite a few. If enemies reach the bottom, they will chase you around horribly. I have a smart bomb, I have a limited shield that gets refilled by half, I believe, every level it's completed. There's various enemies that do different things, like these annoying little swine that split off and send chasers after you. And wash, rinse, repeat with increasing difficulty. Space weather is apparently a problem. The little whistle sound indicates that your men's are under attack, and that was really stupid of me. I know that when they manage to drop off an enemy at the bottom of the screen, they turn into this really fast, annoying thing, and yet I decided to stand next to him like an idiot anyway. Great! Super! This was the only run I had where I managed to get a rating at all, by the way. Everything else it told me that more practice was recommended. And it was. And when I said I'd be finishing on a classic, I meant it. Issue 50 was the last issue of Commodore format I ever bought. After that, it dropped down to a grand total of 22 pages, cost £3, and we finally got an Amiga. Students of history will note that I finally got an Amiga some months after Commodore had gone bankrupt, and then I proceeded to do pretty much the same thing as this over again with the Amiga. Commodore format limped on until issue 61, before dying a fairly sad death. This, however, is A Mind is Born, a demo that was released a couple of months back that manages to get a decent-ish soundtrack and some interesting-ish visuals out of a grand total of 256 bytes. It's a work of genius, or possibly madness. It can play us out.